it's not easy. It's not easy to know that you are responsible for taking something else's life. And it's not easy for anybody. For those of you that don't know, I am brand new to this farm life. I won a chicken plucker last fall, and everybody laughed because the city girl who has never done any sort of animal processing and always had a thing for animals growing up. I thought for sure I was going to be a veterinarian or entomologist because I loved animals and bugs. Everybody thought I was crazy that I was going to do this lifestyle when I told them. My dad lived on a farm, and I went to see him every summer. My mom and dad were divorced, and every summer I would go to see him, and my brothers had pigs in the fair, and I did not realize at the time that the pigs were going to be auctioned off and go to freezer camp. I was mortified when I found out what was happening. I was super excited. You know, the pig's getting a new home, and the pig did so well, and then I found out it was going to be processed, and that was difficult for me, and I wasn't even part of that. I had grown attached to the pigs, and that's one of the things that as a farmer, as a homesteader, you have to be careful not to get attached to those animals. I think one of the reasons I had such a difficult time at the beginning with all of this at an early age is I was a little bit traumatized by the first time I saw a chicken get butchered. I was caught unaware. I did not know what was going to happen. I was visiting a farm, and I just happened to walk out right as, you know, the axe came down, and it was kind of like Silence of the Lambs. For those of you that watched it, you understand what I'm talking about. But the girl goes in and she's trying to rescue all the lambs, and that was me with the chickens. I was in the coop, and I had the door flung open, and I was chasing them, and I'm like, just run, just go, get away, you're next. And I couldn't eat chicken for a whole year after that. I was just so upset with that process, and now I'm the one who's doing it. I'm the one who's being put in that position, or I'm putting myself in that position. I think what a lot of people who live on a farm don't talk about is how difficult it really is to process animals. You know that animals that you've raised have been living in the best conditions. You watch many documentaries, and they go over how deplorable the conditions are for the animals. And I knew going into this lifestyle that that's something I would have to face. And I faced it yesterday. And it really made me think, is this something that I can do? Can I truly live this lifestyle? Can I truly become self-sustainable? Can I live off of the animals that we raise and treat well? And then can I dispatch them? Can my heart take that? So yesterday we had to do that with ducks and with the aggressive rooster that we had, Stu. Honestly, I had a difficult time, and I had to really think hard about what my priorities were in my life, and I'm at a loss for words. What a lot of people don't understand, I think, is that it's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for somebody who's seasoned. It's not easy for someone who's done the farming life for a long time. I was going through some internal things, but I know that I wasn't the only one. And I was able to get through that process of the butchering of the animals. It's not easy. It's not easy to know that you are responsible for taking something else's life. And it's not easy for anybody. Even if you detach with love, you take care of the animals and you love them the best way that you can. You give them the best life that you can. But even so, you don't get attached. You don't name them. You do all of these things so that it's easier for you when the time does come, because the whole purpose for this lifestyle is to become self-sustainable. Raise your own food, raise your own meat. With the prices of the groceries going up, chicken legs and thighs had gone from $5 a bag at Walmart to $10 a bag at Walmart. And I know that this is the right thing for me, the right thing for us, the right thing for anyone who wants to be able to live a self-sustainable life. It still doesn't make it easy. You have to get your mind into this mindset of, okay, tomorrow is the day, or the day after is the day. And honestly, it was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. But I made it through it. I made it through. And we did the best we could with those animals. We treated them the best we could. And we know that God put those animals on earth to feed us, and that's how you get through it, As a city person, I think this is one of the biggest steps to becoming a real country girl, a real farm girl. And it wasn't easy. But I'm really happy I did it. I'm really happy that I really thought hard that I was not going to be able to do this, that I thought that I may have to quit this farm life and quit, living off-grid and on a homestead and having animals. But I'm proud of myself that I was able to get through something so difficult, and the animals were treated with respect and dignity, and I appreciate them, and I appreciate God for providing that. This is Heather with 'Cause We Can Farms, and I had a question for you, Heather.
Okay.
How long do these fillings continue?
So I first started processing my own livestock I was 27 years old. And so I guess I was 95. And to this day, I still have it takes me probably 48 hours before processing day, and I have to gear myself up for it. The first bird, that when you pull them out and you get them set up to process, emotionally, that is the hardest, and every single time I want to quit. Like every single time, it's this emotional roller coaster of this is going to happen. This thing that we never want to do when we raise these animals and we love them, and you know, all of that stuff. And then it becomes very technical for me. So I very much detach. The very first time I processed, it was actually a bunch of roosters, and so I processed them. I learned to can, so I canned them. I couldn't eat that meat for a year. Yeah. That chicken literally sat in my pantry for a year. And then I was able to eat it because I just kept seeing the live animal, and it was like, so now I don't have that issue now. So now it's like, okay, once processing day is over, it's okay, this is food to feed my family, and respecting that life as much as I possibly can. I just don't see how anybody could take a life and not have at least some emotional reaction to it. I don't ever want to get there. I want to, because if I don't have that reaction, then I did not allow myself to love that animal. And I don't, you know, I think that's how these big commercial places are. They're so detached that those animals don't get affection, and they don't get love, and they don't get those things. What that means is that I have to deal and go through the emotions when it's processing day. And you know, you give yourself that grace, you give yourself that moment, you're grateful that you're a person that can actually love an animal, and know that you gave it a way better life than the animals that are in the grocery store. You know, those animals don't have good lives, and you know, that I don't want to support that. I want to support it as least as absolutely possible. But you know, animals were put on this earth to feed us. That's what they were put on this earth for. And you know, to honor that, having that good life. And you know, that's why we spend the amount of money that we spend to do housing and to do, you know, all of those things, so that they, you know, get to run around and graze and eat trees, and they get to you know, we're spending a lot of time putting in a pool for ducks so that they can swim, so that they are happy, you know.
We do want them to be happy. I
mean, that's the key to that. And letting that life happen is really a blessing, and getting to enjoy those emotions. So you know, you get super excited, you have a baby animal, and you raise that animal, and you get to watch them do their things, you know. And then there's all of those emotions. The life of an animal on a homestead, you literally go through every single emotion that you're going to go through. You're going to be angry at them when they destroy fences. You're going to be happy when you watch them swim in swimming pools. You're going to, you know, all of those things. And all of those are gifts.
Yes.
So that animal, from the time it comes on your property, is a gift, to the point that it gets on your plate. That is a gift.
Yes.
And it took me quite a few years to wrap my brain around that, and come to that soft space in me, because I'm not warm and cuddly. Was an entire process for me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about your feelings as well. And
it's hard. It's a very hard.
Yes.
It's very hard. It is the hardest thing on the homestead, because even when every homestead has death on the farm, everyone, but it's harder when you're part of that. And coming to a place where you can say, I'm doing this, I'm okay with doing this. I guess it's the better of the two evils.
Right. I know that from this moment on, I'll be able to do this. As I've grown and matured, I understand now. I understand the reasons behind it. It doesn't make it easy. It may not ever get any easier for me. I may cry every time I have to process animals, but I know that I can make it through it. And I know that if you are having that same struggle, I know that you can make it through it too.
You know, the waste is such a big thing. Of course, we're angels.
And the plant is attacking me.
Humanely dispatching and preserving, it becomes very technical. So I don't.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. And I was trying not to. Okay. Yeah, we have to do that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin.